Kurzweil 3000 in my classroom. I soon realized after exploring Kurzweil 3000 that it has the potential to support all learners in my classroom. Okay, so let's take a tour of Kurzweil 3000 and see the ways in which I can use it to apply the principles of UDL to meet the needs of all students in my classroom. Virtually any text can be copied and pasted or scanned into Kurzweil 3000. That way, teachers and students can manipulate the text to best meet their learning needs. Text can then be manipulated in almost any way imaginable. Text can be added into it. It can also be enlarged. The colors can change. It can be read out loud. One of the great benefits for Kurzweil 3000 for me in my classroom is that I could use a lot of the literacy strategies I would normally have the students be doing with sticky notes or with highlighters in their own books, or I would do on a smartboard. But with Kurzweil 3000, I could do it with the whole class, or students could do it individually, or students could do it later as well, and still get the highlighted words that we highlighted here, discussion that we had. They could hear my voice if I inputted, such as here, recorded what I wanted them to think about or an important point. The unfortunate thing with what I'm showing you here is when I did the screencast, it didn't actually record what I was saying. So you can see on the screen right now, Kurzweil 3000 was recording my questions I had for my students and my summary for them to be able to listen to later. As well, I can input a bubble note anywhere throughout in which, again, I pose a question or a summary or try to get the students to, for this example, to visualize something and to see a picture in their mind, which is a literacy strategy that I've used multiple times. That note can then be read out loud for the students if they're doing it individually, or they can just read it themselves. I think Kurzweil 3000 has a lot of potential in terms of whole class use, but then also the ability for individual students to be either working at their own pace or to be following along with the larger class at their own personal computer as well, depending on their particular learning needs. And here I'm inputting another bubble note later on in the poem. Instead of just reading the text or having the teacher read it, students are able to highlight the text, follow along as it's being read. The green highlights show which word. The notes pop up, and then they also wait until the student closes the window before it continues reading. Students have the options of changing the speed, making it read slower, faster, reading silently, looking up words, going back to different sentences, and that would really support a lot of students in their acquisition of the knowledge in text. There are multiple functions within Kurzweil 3000 to support students in their writing. One of the interesting things I found is that it goes beyond the usual checker, dictionary, and thesaurus capabilities, as well as it has the ability to dictate text and provide audio notes. I thought the predict as you type capabilities were pretty interesting. And so students have the ability to choose predict as you type, turn it on or turn it off. So if you're not sure, for example, hippopotamus, what the word is or how it's spelled, can get it to pop up for you. I did find it slightly distracting that so many words would pop up. So this is something that I would make sure to alter for my students. Another helpful component is the ability to actually share what has either been discussed in the class or what has been learned by extracting all the notes and the highlighted texts. And this could be done by either the teacher or the student, depending on what the outcome of the activity is. I'm always searching for new and interesting ways to complete the writing process, and it's so important for really all students to do this. And Kurzweil 3000 provides multiple brainstorming templates. Here I'm choosing the compare and contrast one, in which to plan an essay or even a paragraph for that matter. The general ease of use of Kurzweil 3000 is something that I found set it apart from other programs where perhaps students had to actually make the template on their own or couldn't find an exact one for what they were looking for. It removes a step in the planning process and makes it so much easier for students to plan and then complete their writing. The planning could then be converted into an outline view, which definitely would make it easier for some students, and then they can go right into a draft view of writing an initial draft.